of the usual time, without the need for general anesthesia, with less risk and an earlier return to full and normal capacity. Even older men with other significant medical problems can be treated safely with university hospitals' lasers and skilled surgical techniques. If you've been diagnosed with benign prostate enlargement, call Staten Island University Hospital today, 800-777-2880. For more information about the advantages of our laser procedure, call 800-777-2880. This is America's most listened to talk radio station. WABC. It's 2 o'clock. From ABC News, I'm Gary Nunn. President Clinton, briefing congressional leaders at the White House, is ready to announce a controversial list of tax increases and spending cuts designed to jumpstart the U.S. economy. Various advance hints of what the president will propose in his message tonight has torched a firestorm of controversy, not without its political overtones. Senate Republican leader Phil Gramm.
The president's made it rather clear that he expects this to be a Democratic proposal. He must be expecting nothing but Democratic support. We've had no consultation with the president.
That is Senate Republican leader Bob Dole. Dole saying the GOP cooperation will explode if the president pins the country's ills on Presidents Reagan and Bush. White House Press Secretary Dee Meyer says that the president intends to consult members of both parties at the Capitol.
I think the president would like to work with the Republican leaders over the course of the next several months to pass this package. He's met with the Republican leadership regularly. He's going up again to meet with the policy lunch the first week in March. And I think that there will be a serious effort by this administration to work with both Republican and Democratic leaders.
The plan calls for raising income taxes for families earning more than $180,000 a year and would raise other taxes paid by Americans earning more than $30,000 a year. It also targets 150 programs for spending cuts. Florida regulators have been put on notice by Allstate Insurance that the company is considering a plan to cut homeowner coverage in the state by 1/3 and raise premiums. Kathleen Hogan of Allstate explains.
We have, in preliminary discussions with the insurance department, told them that we may reduce the number of policies we have written in Florida by as much as 1/3. I should stress that the discussions were preliminary, but we are looking at the overall situation, and those numbers may come to fruition.
Kathleen Hogan of Allstate. The company stopped writing new homeowner policies in Florida, except for customers who had preferred car insurance with the company. You're listening to ABC News. There's a special election for city council in Manhattan. One candidate, Andrew Aristoff, has the courage and independence to challenge the power brokers, the machine politicians, and the union bosses who dominate City Hall. Andrew Aristoff is strongly endorsed by Senator Roy Goodman, who says, in every important fight to protect our neighborhoods, Andrew Aristoff was at my side. As my legislative counsel, Andrew helped prevent a subway and bus fare increase, stopped an unfair property tax increase for apartment dwellers, and helped end health insurance discrimination against the sick and elderly. Former Congressman Bill Green called Andrew Aristoff the best of a new generation of community activists. Assemblyman John Rabbit says Andrew Aristoff's independence and his intelligent vision for a better New York are just what we need in the city council. The nonpartisan Citizens Union stated Andrew Aristoff would make a valuable member of the council. Join Senator Roy Goodman in voting for Andrew Aristoff this Tuesday.
I'm Andrew Aristoff, and this is paid for by the Committee for Aristoff.
The number one problem with winter is not snow or rain or sleet, bulky coats or thin gloves. The number one winter problem is transportation. That's why you should see your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer today, because you can solve all your transportation problems with a Jeep Cherokee Sport. It's the ultimate in winter transportation. It's got room for the whole family, available full-time four-wheel drive, and full-time four-wheel anti-lock brakes. Not only do you get Jeep security, you get a great deal. Now you can get a classically rugged two-door four-wheel drive Jeep Cherokee Sport for as little as $15,335. So winter should be no problem this year. Just see your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer today. MSRP after $500 cash back direct from Chrysler excludes destination fee and options. Actual prices may vary. You must take delivery from dealer stock. See dealer for details. Jeep is a registered trademark of the Chrysler Corporation. Remember, there's only one Jeep, and it's only at your Tri-State Jeep and Eagle dealer.
0.4% of the budget in 1990.
Reischauer testifies before the House Budget Committee, saying that changes must be made in the current pattern of spending on health care. There will be a challenge to the men-only policy at the Citadel, which accepted Shannon Faulkner, the all-male military school, then reversed itself after realizing Shannon is a woman. School officials say correction fluid was used on her transcript to delete a reference to her sex. Officials at the school say there's no place for anyone who submits altered documents. Wall Street, Dow Jones Industrials down 1 point. This is ABC News.
When the algebra 1, I was getting like D's and F's. Like I was the only one that didn't know what I was doing.
This is Sandy Duncan with a Sylvan success story every parent should hear.
A mother knows her child, and I know Amelia could do it.
Bringing home my first straight report card was excellent. I finally did something right.
Sylvan is the answer. I've seen it work.
Sylvan Learning Center can boost your child's grades and self-esteem. So call your local center now, 1-800-EDUCATE. That's 1-800-EDUCATE.
All aboard Amtrak's Auto Train to fun and fitness in Florida. You and a friend could be heading to sunny Florida aboard Amtrak's Auto Train, and you can take your car or van along. Amtrak will load your car or van into an enclosed carrier while you enjoy the easiest ride of your life on Amtrak's Auto Train. After you arrive in Florida, you and your guests will enjoy a Glamour to Golf package at PGA National Resort and Spa in beautiful Palm Beach. PGA National Resort and Spa is America's ultimate sports spa and resort destination, where your best is yet to come. Your Glamour to Golf package allows you your choice of either PGA's new spa or 5 championship golf courses with complimentary golf clinics. Just send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number to Amtrak's Auto Train to Florida. Care of WABC Radio 2, Penn Plaza, New York, 10121. Entries must be received by February 26, 93. On March 2nd, Joy Behar will announce the randomly selected winner. No purchase necessary. Must be 18 or older to enter. Void where prohibited. Travel dates are subject to availability. And now, Rush Limbaugh.
WABC New York.
The #1 AM radio station in New York, America, and the world. WABC Talk Radio 77. Arbitron rating Fall 92. This is a special edition of the Rush Limbaugh program, America Held Hostage. And now, from our studios in New York City, here is Rush Limbaugh.
It's day 29 of the Clinton presidency, known also as the hostage crisis. And if you want to be on our program today, it's 1-800-282-2882. Other things going on. You know, I always like to keep you posted on other things, even, you know, when there are major events. Great column today in the New York Times op-ed page by Amy, I don't know how to pronounce this. How would you pronounce D-A-C-Y-C-Z-Y-N? Dacy's. Anyway, she is author of the Tightwad Gazette, which is a book, and she publishes a newsletter of the same name. Column is entitled The Two-Income Whiners. Says a lot of couples can live on one salary. What is this needing 2 incomes whining about? Listen to this. I got married in 1982. And my husband and I set out to prove the 2-income whiners wrong. And we did. Now listen to this. In the first 7 years of our marriage, and they got married in 82. In the first 7 years of our marriage, on my husband's average income of less than $30,000 a year, we saved $49,000. We spent an additional $38,000 on such investments as 2 new cars, furniture, and major appliances, until we plunked down our nest egg to buy a $125,000 farmhouse on 7 acres. We were debt-free. Now, what's interesting about this is, of course, the obvious. Less than $30,000 a year over 7 years, that's $210,000. Let's take taxes out of that. Remember now, first year of the Reagan tax cuts, tax rate reductions. Let's say that at $30,000, let's say they netted 24. All right, multiply that times 7, then it's 28. 14 is $200 and some odd thousand, right? And they were able to save out of $200 and some odd thousand, $49,000 in 7 years. During the 80s. I thought everybody suffered during the 80s. I thought everybody got hurt during the 80s. I thought everybody was pummeled during the 80s. I thought people worked harder and earned less. Isn't that what our virtuous, honest as the day is long president says all the time? It's just an interesting piece. It's primarily a complaint about all these people who claim they can't get by on one income and how they're wrong on how you can, especially if you plan it from the beginning of the marriage. You can't max out your Visa or MasterCard or any of that. Also, front page, the New York Times. I'm holding the story right here in my formerly nicotine-stained fingers. National recovery fattening tax revenue in many states. Here's the lesson. Evidence is continuing to build that the nation's economic expansion that took hold in the second half of '92 is having a positive effect on battered state finances. Tax collections, not including legislated tax increases, rose nearly 6% in the fourth quarter compared with a year earlier, according to a survey of state tax officials by the Center for the Study of States, which is a research concern in Albany. It's the biggest increase since the beginning of the recent recession and 5 times last year's rise. Income and sales taxes are rising solidly. And you know how they're doing? Income and sales taxes are rising solidly, and there hasn't been a tax rate increase that they're computing here or calculating. This is exactly how it works. The recovery is happening. We got broad-based recovery going on, and there is more activity. There's more taxable activity going on. Nobody's paying more yet. It's to come. And they're spending more, so sales tax revenues are. This is what's happening federally, too. And if they just leave it alone, I just heard a report on the network news that Clinton's going to announce all these tax increases and budget cuts to jumpstart the economy. It's been jumpstarted. It's humming. We're heading on down the highway. We have been for about 9 months now. We don't need to jumpstart the economy. The whole Clinton presidency is built on something that doesn't need to be done anymore. Why can't he have, if he's got the courage to change or the courage to do this or the courage to face tough choices, why can't he come to us and say, ladies and gentlemen, things have improved from the campaign and we don't need to do what I said we were going to do. What we need to do is less. And if we all have patience and if we can get our belts tightened on the spending side, then this recovery should sustain itself for quite a while. Why can't he say that? Why can't he be honest and come forth and say, I campaigned on what I thought was genuinely wrong. I was honest during the campaign, even though that won't be true. And I said that I thought we needed to do this and that, but we don't need to do it anymore. Instead, what they're doing is taking a recovery that's going along fine, and they're saying it's worse than they thought it was, and we need these massive emergency-oriented, crisis-directed solutions, and we don't. I'm sorry for being passionate. What else is in the news? Oh, did you know that smoking kills? Yeah. Smokers are 3 times more likely to die before the age of 70, said scientists after a 40-year study of health in Britain. We knew it before they did. Now they're choosing the jury for the next Rodney King civil rights trial out in Los Angeles. On Monday, 2 days ago, the New York Times ran a tremendous story about the jurors in the first trial. Headline of the story, Haunted Still, Jurors in Beating Trial Give Warning to Possible Successors. Let me pick this up in progress. Only one of the 4 jurors would allow his name to be used in the story. His name is Szyminski. Kevin Szyminski. Kevin Szyminski was one of 4 jurors in the first trial reached by phone last week who spoke with pain and anger about the almost universal condemnation of their verdict and about their struggle to resume a normal life. All have had their phone numbers unlisted, and none but Mr. Szyminski would allow their names to be printed in this story. But all 4 of the jurors who agreed to talk stood firmly by their verdict. Some said the principle of reasonable doubt overrode any personal inclination they may have had to convict the defendants, the cops. And all 4 of the jurors insisted that the verdict was supported by the evidence they were presented and that their critics saw only televised glimpses of the crucial videotape of the beating of Rodney